differentiation instruction, and it's just a quick little overview. First thing is, let's turn on this little thing. There we go. So at your table, you have this handout. I just want to know what you guys think. What is differentiated instruction? How do teachers differentiate instruction? How do you, in your classroom, differentiate? How do you prepare differentiation? So I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes. Yeah, we can do 5 minutes. Bless you. All right, you'll have about 2 minutes left.
It's a tricky question.
Which one's tricky? How do you prepare?
How do you prepare?
Mm-hmm. This one for me is the best question. I love these responses.
Thank you for the positive feedback. Thank you. I am not using my rap strategy.
No kidding. I am not using my rap either.
Hey, but you know what? I did see some of y'all using the rap strategy.
Sorry, I have to teach it all day.
What about this one?
Oh, that one.
It's a tricky one. It's a tough one.
Saving the best for last.
All right, 1 more minute.
I'm going to ask Maddie.
How do you prepare for differentiated instruction?
Ask people who know what they're doing.
It's people who pretend to know what they're doing.
I mean,
Look, y'all do. I've seen it. I think it's just one of the things that just happens naturally. You can't, I think it's, for some people, it's really hard to plan and prepare for it. Unless it's social studies. And then we actually differentiate really well.
That's fair.
I get nervous when I do this. No.
share your thoughts?
Yes.
Oh, sharing them.
Don't look at the student names. You can grab one, you can grab a journal.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna get that one. Okay, so before you open it, let's just quickly go through and somebody just say one question that you chose and what you answered with. Beecham, let's start with you.
I'll go with the last one.
Okay.
Do I need to read the question?
No. So what does differentiation look like in the classroom?
Meeting the needs of students.
Perfect.
Not everyone is the same, so individualized instruction should look different for everybody. And I think that works best in small groups.
Beautiful. Ms. Tolbert.
Yes. I will do, how do teachers prepare differentiated instruction in their classrooms? Teachers use classroom data and observations to create lessons that include every level of the learner to meet the lesson's goal using a variety of resources and methods.
Beautiful. I think that's,
Well done.
yeah, I think that's exactly what teachers do. All right, Ms. Messer, what about you?
Well, I kind of had a different thought for the last one, so I'm gonna read the last one that differentiated instruction looked like in the classroom. And I just thought at the last minute that it would be cool to plan and group them by their interest and their learning styles too.
Yeah.
So not just ability, but sometimes you have that flexible grouping where you
Yeah.
could differentiate by their learning styles too.
100%, yeah, because you have your audio learners, you have your hands-on learners, your I can't say that word.
Kinesthetic.
Thank you, that word.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like it.
Very much.
I think that would be like having to have like the what is the boxes that we did?
Foursquare, the window pane.
The personality boxes. Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're-
thinking of the choices that they have, like a choice board. That's
Okay.
what I was thinking of.
Yeah, because I think the choice boards do offer that type of thing, for sure. Or they can choose. All right, Ms. Gillen.
The difficult question, how do teachers prepare for differentiated instruction? I said learning about your students. You have to know your students, not just what kind of learner they are, but what type of person they are. How do they learn? What environment do they learn best in? Sometimes it comes down to their social emotional level so that you can meet them where
Yeah.
they need you to be.
Yes, y'all are. Y'all are amazing. All right, Ms. Stanton.
What is differentiated instruction? It's instruction that meets the needs of all students on the level they are on.
Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so you guys basically answered it. What is differentiated instruction? It is where you are tailoring the instruction to meet the student's individual needs. It's not just the content, but it's also the process. How do we go about doing it? Do we do it based upon their learning styles? Do we do it? What type of stuff do we use? Do we use different worksheets? Do we use different methods? So what I have decided to do was go ahead and pass out journals to y'all. So if you will open them up and turn to the very last page that has something in it, and take a look and see if the student, this one may not have it, has any type of differentiation. So then you may have to turn to the page before that.
This one is the obvious.
Yeah.
The cause and effect one?
Any of them. You can turn to any of them because if that student is gonna have a differentiated instruction, lesson, activity you're gonna be able to tell. So looking at what you have, well, I can't help it, she, you know, it is what it is. Isn't it amazing? There we go, there's something. So if you look at
There it
them,
is. Found it.
do you see how a student is differentiated?
Yes.
Is it being differentiated?
Is.
Okay, what makes it being differentiated? What would you say? Looking at what you have and what your next door neighbor, yes, Tolbert.
My student actually has looks like they're doing, vocab, and apparently my student has a little difficulty with handwriting, so it looks like the teacher prepared a fill in the blank so that they could just write the important words, so they're still moving through the process, it's just, the goal is to actually learn the vocab, not the writing, and he has a hard time with writing, you can tell through this, so.
Perfect. What about yours, Miss Gillen?
My student has a completed set of the notes. So maybe this student has a hard time paying attention
Yeah.
and following along with the group, so theirs is always already completed versus having to fill in a blank.
Okay. Now, would you guys say that that is a form of differentiation?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Because why are you gonna give a kid something to fill out when
Yeah,
it's just gonna
if you,
frustrate them?
yeah, if
Exactly.
you know that they're not gonna be able to.
To do it at all?
Yeah.
They can't write, the goal is not writing, so.
So, how will differentiation instruction help you as a teacher? How do you guys think? Turn and talk to a partner.
I think it helps their little self-esteem, that they're not constantly in frustrated mode because they're trying to keep up with the class and they know they're falling behind.
I think it also helps us bridge the gap though, that we find in so often all of our kids, that I don't need you on this specific subject, I don't need you to be able to write in things, I just need you to know the information.
Exactly.
And so if it helps that they have it already written for them.
I think it also helps with behavior because, I mean, especially your students that need the differentiation because they are a lower skill level, a lot of the time the tendency is to act out so that students notice their behavior and not their inability to do the work.
Right.
And so when you bridge that gap, it keeps your behaviors in check as well.
Yeah, it definitely lowers the task refusal, right? When they feel like, oh, well, I'm just trying to show what I know, it's not about just the actual writing part of it, then I feel like we see less of that, for sure.
So, instead of picking 3 because of our time constraints, I'm gonna ask you guys to pick one question and answer it to a partner. Just one.
One of these questions?
Yes. So what types of activities can I use to engage students with varying learning styles? Great job, Miss, for bringing that up. How can I ensure students have multiple opportunities to practice and apply new concepts? What choices can I have students use to demonstrate their understanding? How can I set different expectations for students based on their individual goals and learning profiles? How can I use this information today and apply it in my classroom in the next couple of weeks? I'll be your partner.
Let's go, partner.
What in my classroom?
Yeah, 100% in your
What
classroom.
types of activities can I use to engage students with varying learning styles? So my kids are really hands-on, and so I try to do more hands-on stuff, like if we're needing to build stuff, or if we're needing to get.
I like the question, how
Okay.
can I set different
So that's how you
expectations for students
incorporate this.
based on their individual goals and learning profiles. Sometimes
So do you have
changing
students, though,
expectations
that
can be really difficult.
do better with visual
because
versus
you have
hands-on?
kids that notice the
So how do you
expectations are
accommodate
different.
that?
So I think the key is to have rigorous
like,
expectations, like a high
I
level
always
of
have
effort,
this idea
but that
when
doesn't
we're
necessarily
always
mean
on
it's the
video,
same
we're always
expectation.
kind of
It's
listening
just
to something,
different.
or
So
I
you're
think
doing the
that's
same
a cool way to
level
get
of
to
learning,
based on something
but
before, I think a lot of
it might
times
just
it's
look
easier for us to
different,
put
like
in
what you're
words
saying.
based on level. And so
Say it.
using that and saying, hey, they're interested in this, I think that's, cause then you're
So
doing
with
two
your
things,
questions, I
right?
know you have
You're,
that part of
increasing
it.
that,
When you do it, does it help with
rigor,
behavior?
but also
Or does it
helping
just
them
just depends on the mood?
right? So
Yeah,
you're working on
it's
those
not
social skills
like
because
I
they're
have
around
kids sitting in my
others
room
that feel the
that
same way
feel
about
Have
things.
things in common
Yeah,
with each
so they're probably more
Yeah.
likely
like
to be
other
working
people are
with
looking at them
together, so
because
I
they're
really like that
smart.
idea that
It
this
has
guy's trying
nothing
to
to
do
do
that.
with that, it's just their behaviors.
Yeah, they don't wanna do it, non-compliance. Okay, awesome job. Thanks, ladies. Oh, we're not watching that. Okay, so how do you guys apply differentiation to your classroom? Well, you can do it by offering a different variety of reading methods, right, or materials, using videos and clips like Stanton said, designing activities with varying level of complexity, offer flexible grouping, pacing students, choice boards, see Messer? Look at that. Provide rubrics, offer multiple assessments, beat 'em. Provide tools and resources, ensure that you use technology to support students and their complexity. Do you guys think that here we offer enough technology to support students and their,
No,
No,
No.
we don't.
not at all. We don't.
There's
we don't.
not enough
No.
differentiation, honestly, there's not enough variety for our kids
Mhm.
on both ends of the spectrum. We don't
Yes.
have enough for kids that are higher.
Mhm.
I had one last year who is now at a different school, and they moved him up a grade level and we knew, but they didn't have things that challenged him technology wise. But for my lower ones, they don't have that either.
right,
Mhm.
it's
And
too
we don't-
complex.
It's too complex, but we also don't have access, like ST math for
Oh, for you.
my ID friend,
Mm-mm.
No.
that, they don't get, he doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it. No, not at all.
And I have a lot of kids that have, speech to text, and they can't use that because there's not enough class sets that actually work, that they can speak into and do
Yeah.
that. And then the ones that we have available pick up everything in the room. So then what happens? They get frustrated because they're saying the same thing over, and it's, so then they're upset.
And then you have the ones that have speech to text, but also are qualified under speech,
Yeah.
so it doesn't understand
And
it.
it will not understand.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you have a little one that needed that big time today when I was in your classroom, and he was super frustrated.
Mhm.
And it's because he can't write. He can think, but he can't write.
Yeah.
And his speech is so bad, when he talks in, it's not what he said.
It's not picking it up.
It's not what he said. Mhm.
We just don't have the software, we don't
Exactly.
have the technology. We
I
don't have
think
the
we're
resources.
also
Yeah.
like riding a very fine line, especially with the age of our students and having laptops.
Yes.
Laptops are not very user friendly.
No, again.
But also, I mean, it is developmentally appropriate for them to learn computer skills, but having an actual laptop gives them too much access
Too much access.
to
yes.
things that they don't need to have access.
Exactly.
I mean, should 9-year-olds have full access to Google?
No.
No, because they're not
YouTube.
always, yeah,
On YouTube.
they're not using it appropriately. So the technology is there, but it's almost like technology overload for them. So it's overstimulating.